Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing well today. So, this time we are going to be going over Forgotten Worlds on the Sega Genesis. We looked at a few other Genesis games recently, like Fantasia, Dick Tracy, and Alien Storm. Sorry. My brain's kind of working right now. We'll see how it goes throughout the rest of this. Anyway, Forgotten Worlds, also titled Lost Worlds in Japan, is a side-scrolling shooter that was made by Capcom. The arcade version was released in 1988, the Genesis version and a bunch of home computer versions were released in 89. That's the Mega Drive version in Japan, sorry. And in 1990, the US got their version of the game for the Genesis. So the plot for this game, like many other arcade games, is very simple. It is set in the 29th century. You play as one of two unnamed super soldiers who are created by what's left of the people on Earth to fight an evil god and his 8 other evil gods who have destroyed most of the planet. Which, I'm just glad that there is a story, as little details were given. It's kind of nice to know why you're doing things. Even though this is a game that you don't really need to know why things are happening. You just need to know that they're bad guys and you need to kill them. So the first thing I really want to talk about with this game is the control system for it, especially with the Genesis version. Your character moves around fine. The D-pad is great to move your character around with. Shooting is a major problem. The arcade used a spinner button type thing, which rotated your character so that you could aim and shoot. Because this isn't an option for the Genesis, you use the A and C buttons to rotate clockwise and counterclockwise. And this is how you aim your gun, and just hope to God that you actually hit something. The B button is used for your fire button, which, that's perfectly fine. It works well with the control scheme, even though I absolutely hate this control scheme. The game probably would have been better off if they had changed it to just like a more traditional shooter like Gradius or a Darius or something like that, where you're aiming in like a fixed position, just right in front of you, and the enemies aren't coming up from behind or anything like that. I feel like that just would have worked a lot better. It's just one of those weird things. I like the game, I just think the control scheme and the way that you actually shoot is one of the most annoying things about it. And given how Sega made this version, they had a chance to really redesign it and everything, but I guess they were going for something that was more faithful to the arcade version. I think that's kind of what I'm looking for here. That is something that's rather interesting about this, and it kind of makes the game stand out, or at least puts it in a bit of a time capsule for us. Capcom at the time, in the late 80s and the early 90s, they were locked into an exclusivity deal with Nintendo. This seems to have been a way that they were able to get around it. So what they did was they licensed the game to Sega. They did this with a couple other games, like their Ghost and Goblins version. They licensed that to Sega, and then Sega would basically redesign the games. So instead of using the Capcom team to actually make the game for them, Sega just programmed it themselves. This would end up changing when Nintendo's licensing and exclusivity rights, they kind of ended, so companies like Capcom or Konami or other, like Hudson would do this as well. Also Atari would get around it as well. Once all that was done, it really didn't matter too much, and pretty much anybody could make any game for any system, or port multiple games to different systems. Forgotten Worlds is just kind of a fun shooter, even though I think the control scheme is just really not great for the Genesis, it is a fun game to sit back and play every once in a while. If only to remind myself that I don't like it as much as I probably could have. Anyway, guys, that's going to wrap it up. Please let me know what you think in the comments below, and have a great day, everybody.